What's up, Raider Nation? Welcome to TRU Raider Podcast. I am your host, TRU Raider. Now, if I am just like shooting way out of left field and I'm having an awful take right now, y'all need to let me know. But I got to tell you guys right now, I'm like kind of tripping, right? Because earlier, I got the news while I was at work that, Davante Adams is getting cut from the Jets, right? And at first, man, I had a good laugh. I was like, man, we definitely won that trade deal. We got that third round pick from the Jets. They got Davante Adams for a handful of games. They got like no wins out of it. And then here they are cutting him. They're eating the money. We got rid of that contract. And then I started really thinking about it, man. I was like, this could actually happen, right? This could actually happen that we end up with Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams. So I made a video, right? And I made a video before I left from work. I uploaded it and I'm driving home, right? And it's about an hour for me to drive home. And I'm thinking about this, man. And I'm listening to this show that had Diana Rossini on it, right? And she's like, "Oh yeah, Aaron Rodgers to the Giants," and then she went to explain on how it didn't make any sense. And then they asked her, "Well, what about the Raiders? What are the Raiders going to do at quarterback?" And she's like, "You know what? I have no idea." And it's like clear as day right in front of her. And I'm like, you know what? Like this actually might make the most sense out of anything, right? And I gotta give a shout out to Raider Ryan, one of the model Raiders in the building. He's saying, hell, effing no on Davante Adams, Rodgers, if he wants to take the vet minimum to let us build around him, or at least build around that QB position for whichever rookie we get. I think Rodgers would help teach. And then he went on to say, I think DA is a great receiver, but he's a diva. And let's face it, Davante Adams is a diva, right? He is absolutely a diva. The way that he left from the Raiders pissed me off. It pissed me off so bad, right? But the more content that I made about it, the more I looked at it. It's like, let's face it, we screwed over Davante Adams, right? We went and we traded for him when we got Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler. We went and we traded for Davante Adams, and then proceeded to, he came over here to play with his college quarterback, Derek Carr, and then he didn't even get a full season with Derek Carr, and then boom, we jettisoned Derek Carr. We got nothing in return for him. Davante Adams was left playing with the most awful quarterback room that could ever happen, man. We got Jimmy Garoppolo, Brian Hoyer, Aiden O'Connell, Gardner Minshew, Desmond Ridder. Like, of course he was pissed, right? Of course he got pissed off and said, I'm getting out of Vegas, right? Like, I can't even blame the guy. He got served a really, really raw deal, right? He was never a Raider to stick it out to build, right? And then he had a glimmer of hope, right? He had this little glimmer of hope when we got rid of Josh McDaniels and he was all excited and we got AP and things looked pretty good. But then we promptly went into the next season on some bullshit with AP, man. Antonio Pierce totally messed everything up. He did not secure Cliff Kingsbury, went and got Luke Getsy. Just so many bad moves were made. And let's just face it, right? If I were Davante Adams, I probably would have done the same thing. I would have said, get me out of here. First flight out, wherever he could go, right? And going back to Aaron Rodgers, and I made fun of him and things like that, right? But what it comes down to is that things went horribly wrong over there with the Jets, right? And Luis, Couch GM, saying he's cheap, right? Billy Davis, salute. What's going on, man? Okay, Luis is saying Aaron Rodgers had a defensive coach. He had a play caller OC fired. The Jets were a mess And Rodgers still had 28 touchdowns to 11 interceptions and 3,800 passing yards. And everybody's saying, oh, he's washed, he's slow, he's blah, 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 right? And everybody, that's my Bubba saying no, right? But what's really going on right now, and for those of you on TikTok that don't know, I got YouTube and Facebook on my computer, got TikTok on my phone. So I split the chat as best I can, man. But what's really going on is Aaron Rodgers went to the Jets. He had a torn Achilles, right, at the age of 39. That is maybe he was 40, right? Either way, yeah, he was 40. So that's an old age to be tearing your Achilles, right? And so he sat out for a whole season. And then the following year, the Jets are quarterback killers, man. The Jets cannot figure out how to get any kind of reasonable anything going on in the quarterback room over there. I don't know what the heck it is. Luigi with the follow salute. And, I got people in the chat saying Carr should come back, but definitely not. The Saints said that they're going to keep him, but Aaron Rodgers is better quarterback than Derek Carr. Let's face it, right? And they're about the same price. Aaron Rodgers was playing on the Jets with, coming back from this torn Achilles. Of course he was going to be slower, right? And then he's playing for the Jets. Union Man with the follow, salute. So he's playing with the Jets, and of course it's going to go horribly bad for one, right? It's like, I think everybody knew. Well, the main media didn't know, right? But I think the rest of us knew Aaron Rodgers going to the Jets was going to end horribly wrong. And it did, right? And it did. But then he brings on Davante Adams. Doesn't really look much better. They do horrible. Everybody says Aaron Rodgers is washed. Davante Adams is washed. It is what it is, right? Those things work in our favor because how many people are really going out to pay either of these guys, much less both of these guys? What are their options? The Jets? Maybe the Titans? The Browns? The Raiders? I know if I were Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams, right? Because there's rumors that they're looking to be, they're looking to maybe do this package deal. And the thing is, man, is that what it really comes down to is that there's not a whole lot of teams that would take that on and they'd be able to be successful on, right? Right now with the Raiders and their new coaching staff, right? We got Pete Carroll, we got Chip Kelly. And yeah, I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this video. Everybody's saying, hell nah, hell nah. And the thing is, man, is that neither of them are going to come for the league minimum. It's just not going to happen, right? These guys are going to want money, but they're not going to be demanding the money that they were getting before. Aaron Rodgers isn't going to be demanding $50 million. Davante Adams isn't going to be demanding $30 million, right? And so we're going to be able to maybe get these guys, right? And if I don't know that the Raiders would go this route, right? But the more that I think about this, the more it makes sense. Because what do we need? We need like a 2-year bridge, right? We need short-term kind of bridge because people are over here saying, well, let's get Derek Carr. Let's stick with Aiden O'Connell. Let's sign Justin Fields. So get the fuck out of there with all this shit saying that Aaron Rodgers is a bad idea because what it comes down to, and I like this one, Raider Mike 27, bro. That's the number. Get Rodgers, sign Dart, right? And so if we were to pick up Aaron Rodgers at a discounted rate, it's not going to be no league minimum. And I know everybody that's watching Mitchell Renz thinks, oh, we're going to get him for league minimum. No, it's not going to happen, right? Aaron Rodgers is still going to cost some money. He's going to want money. It's going to happen, right? So we get Aaron Rodgers, discounted, not $50 million. Davante Adams, it's not going to be $30 million, discounted. We sign these guys to a 2-year deal, right? If you look at the timeline that we're on, Pete Carroll is old. They're saying we're here to win now. We're not here to build something that's going to make sense in 5 years. We're here to win right now. Who is the best win now quarterback that's available, right? You take Matthew Stafford out of the equation, right? You got Sam Darnold, which, hey, we got to give props to Sam Darnold, and he's not getting franchise tagged today. The window closed at 4 p.m. Eastern time. So Sam Darnold's not getting franchise tagged by the Vikings. He had one really good year, and that's a good year, right? 4,300 passing yards with 35 touchdowns, 14 wins. Hey, man, I wouldn't be mad if we got Sam Darnold, but there's so much question there because he got drafted to the Jets, did horrible, went to be the 49ers backup. He could not win that starting job with the 49ers. I think Milroe and Dart are both on the table. I don't know. So Sam Darnold went over there to the 49ers, could not win the job there, ended up on the Vikings, and he wasn't ever supposed to be a starter. JJ McCarthy got hurt. He ended up in that starting role. Hey, it went well, but we cannot guarantee that that's what's going to happen moving forward, and he's going to demand a pretty good contract. I'm not out on that, but what I'm saying is what I believe is the best case scenario is for us to sign Aaron Rodgers, and we sign him to a 2-year deal, right? It could be 1 year guaranteed. The other one, we could opt out maybe. At this point, I might even get okay with it being 2 years guaranteed. I might. CG with the follow, 209, salute. So Davante Adams or not, right? If you sign Aaron Rodgers, then we draft a quarterback, right? And that could be Shedeur Sanders at number 6. It could be Jackson Dart in the late first or the early second. And it could be Jalen Milroe. I don't really like that idea, but it could be that. And one of the big talking points that people are coming at us with is that salute. A lot of people are saying, well, we don't really have a wide receiver 1, right? And they wanted Higgins. Well, he got tagged, right? And so then people are saying, well, let's draft the wide receiver Coop with the follow at number 6. And I don't want to do that, right? Because if we brought in Davante Adams, of course he's going to be the diva that he is, and he's going to want all these touches and da-da-da. But if you bring him in to play with Aaron Rodgers, the dude literally can't even bitch, right? Especially that he can't bitch when Aaron Rodgers gets a new favorite toy in Brock Bowers, right? But if you have somebody like Brock Bowers, and I know Brock Bowers, Jacoby Myers, and Davante Adams already played in the same wide receiving core, but these guys did not have somebody like Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball to him. And people are saying Aaron Rodgers can't do the RPO, da-da-da. A good offensive coordinator will literally change the way that they're calling their offense to fit the skill set of the quarterback that they have. But Aaron Rodgers looked slow, mostly because he's coming back from that injury. Yes, he's going to be 41, so he's not going to be as fast as he used to be, right? But he still is a very mobile quarterback. He's not a runner. He's a mobile quarterback. So Louis saying, how much would the 2-year deal cost for both Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams? Now, I don't really have an accurate projection on that. And so that would be part of the deal breaker there is if they're wanting, Aaron Rodgers is like, well, I want 50 million. No, we're not giving you that. If Davante Adams says, I want 30 million. No, we're not giving you that. Now, if you can get Davante, somewhere, and it's hard to say, man, because he's probably going to still want like $20 million a year, right? You could break that to where the cap hit isn't that much, and you have more of a cap hit of like 13 to 15 in the first year. And Aaron Rodgers, you could probably get him to agree to like 40 million, honestly. And I would love to get him for less. But the thing is that he's going to look at what people are making in the league and he's going to say, I still want to make what I'm worth. And he still is worth 40 million, especially if you break it down to where the cap hit isn't necessarily 40 million. So let's say between Davante Adams and Aaron Rodgers, year 1, the cap hit, you could probably finagle that to where it's only like a $40 million cap hit with the NFL salary cap going up by $26 million. Not even going to fill that. We're going to be able to bring back our free agents, and we're going to still have some money to play with. Now, if you bring on both these guys, then we don't have to necessarily worry about quarterback right away. We could wait until next year if we wanted to. But what I would like to see them do is, there's all these rumors about Shedeur Sanders falling to um, falling down the draft boards, right? And people are saying there's nobody before him that's going to want to pick him. And there's even that report that came out where two different teams said that he came off as cocky and arrogant in their interviews and like he didn't even care what the teams thought of him. But that's not even a surprise. His dad has been saying there's certain places where don't even call us. Like he's not going to go there, right? And so Shador Sanders probably interviewed with these teams, probably the Browns and the Titans, and he is probably just like, nah, I don't give a shit about you guys, right? Whatever. I'm not even worried about that, dude. I watch tape, and the tape on that kid is really, really good. Now, I don't think that Shador Sanders is a guy that you bring in year one and he's just going to be your starting quarterback immediately as a rookie, and he's going to be Jaden Daniels because he ain't no Jaden Daniels, right? Adams wants to win. And right now, the Raiders are looking to win, right? So Shador Sanders, if you pick him at 6, sit him for a year, maybe even 2 years. Honestly, 2 years behind Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers isn't going to mentor him and all that shit. He doesn't have to. He can watch Aaron Rodgers work. He's been working with Brady in the off seasons, just being in the building, in the camp. Hey, that's some pretty good shit, right? Yeah, Michael, he's a 2-year project, and that's great. And so is Jackson Dart. And that's my other point, right? Is if Shador Sanders actually goes in the top 5 and he's not available anymore, well, what's the next best thing? Best player available. Who's the difference maker early in the draft, like a Brock Bowers? And I got to say, it's Ashton Genty, right? So, what I'd really like to see is us pick up Aaron Rodgers and maybe even a Davante Adams, right? As long as the price is good and whatever, right? And then we go into the draft and we pick up Shador Sanders in the first, Omarion Hampton in the second, right? Get that running game going. If that does not happen, then just then you flip it, right? And you get the running back first, and Ashton Genty at number 6. And then in the second round, and I that's just hoping that Jackson Dart's still available in the second round, or if we have to trade back in the late first to get him, whatever. Then you get Jackson Dart, and we have some extra picks that we could play with, right? It would be worth doing. I like Jackson Dart. I like Shador Sanders. I'm good with either of those guys. But both of those guys have to sit a minimum of 1 year, but especially 2 years would be ideal. So then you have Aaron Rodgers for the next 2 years. That way we can start getting into the damn playoffs, because honestly, I believe Aaron Rodgers is going to be a lot healthier, a lot quicker, a lot better this year. You put him in a Chip Kelly offense. You have him throwing to Davante Adams, Jacoby Myers, Brock Bowers with Ashton Genty or Omarion Hampton, one of them guys running the ball. Chip Kelly's already shown that he can run a run game, man. Why would you want him? He's drama. I'm not even worried about his drama. I'm not worried about the drama at all, because we're not looking for a long-term culture build kind of situation. What we're looking for is somebody that can come in the building immediately and win games, right? Because Pete Carroll doesn't want to start off with a rookie quarterback that's going to be crap his first year and then moderate his second year and then maybe start winning in year 3. Pete Carroll ain't got time for that, man. His time's clicking on that dude, man. Like, yeah, he may seem like a young, old person, but he's 73 years old. So he wants to win now. So you bring those guys in, and yeah, I know drama ruins morale, right? But who says that Aaron Rodgers is drama? The media. The media always paints a picture of that this dude is drama. He's a locker room cancer. But when they talk to people that have played with him, they all say really good things about him, man. They say super good things about him. So what's up with that, right? Why is he being painted as some drama queen? It's crazy. Rodgers is cooked. Cousins is way better. Eric, you need to what? You need to check yourself on that, bro. Cousins, they came back from the same damn injury, and who played better this last season, Rodgers or Cousins? Rodgers. And the Falcons were definitely a better team than the Jets. Let's see. Anthony, kind of funny. Stafford left Rams, said they felt comfortable with Jimmy Garoppolo. So when that whole conversation was going on, there was a rumor that they're saying that they're comfortable with Jimmy Garoppolo, but they ended up keeping him. And he basically used us as leverage, man, which is all right. I kind of liked the idea of Matthew Stafford, but the whole time that thing was going on, if you look on my channel, I was putting out videos saying, "Let's go get Aaron Rodgers." That's been the Raider way: bring in old, washed up players, turn the table. But see, right now, who are you going to bring in that's not old and washed up? Everything Gill? Tell me. Who are you going to bring in right now that's not old and washed up? Because people think that they're just going to like manifest some magical quarterback that's like young and ready to just win a Super Bowl immediately. Everybody's saying Fields. Fields, he was 4-2 with the Steelers. My wife's a Steelers fan, so I was watching, right? And it looked pretty good. It looked pretty good. But in 6 games, he threw 5 touchdowns. Now, if we get Justin Fields, am I going to be mad? No. But if you have Justin Fields, Garner Minshew, and Aiden O'Connell in a quarterback room, who's the starter? We're going to go into another season with a quarterback competition trying to figure out, well, maybe it'll be him and maybe it'll be him. Aiden O'Connell might beat him for the starting job, straight up, and that's dangerous, man. My wife's a Steelers fan. How does that work? It works pretty simply. We never have to worry about each other. Whenever we play the Steelers, though, the last couple of years, she's had the bragging rights, man, and that sucks, dude. Let me see. Let me catch up over here a little bit. Willie's saying, please no to Rodgers. Anthony, what you think? Someone said something the other day I really like. Keep Aiden, of course, get rid of Minshew and draft a quarterback in the mid rounds. Aiden O'Connell, let's face it, man. Aiden O'Connell had his opportunity to win the starting job this last year, and he didn't, right? And there's no world where Aiden O'Connell in year 3 is better than Aaron Rodgers at 41. Just not. 831. Are we drafting a QB? I hope so. I hope that we're either going to pick up a Shador Sanders or a Jackson Dart. Let him sit for a couple years. Dart and Genty let AOC start. I'm telling you, man, like everybody that says hell no to Rodgers says, let's start Aiden O'Connell. Let's bring back Derek Carr. In the Justin Fields argument, I could see in the RPO offense that he could win games. But, I mean, he ain't, let's face it, he's not going to be a top 10 quarterback, probably not even a top 15. Let's see. Luis, if Shador isn't there at pick 6, then I think Mason Graham or Will Campbell. So the problem, there's some like kind of bad reports coming out about Mason Graham and Will Campbell. They're saying that Will Campbell's measurables are pretty bad. He has really short arms, I guess. And so that's kind of discouraging. If you look at Sanjit T's channel, he's an actual scout, right? And the dude, he looks at the trenches, right? Mostly offensive line, but also defensive line. And when he says like these players are like, I'd kind of pass on them at 6, I really trust the dude's opinion, man. Computron, what made you become a Raiders fan? Jay with the follow salute. What made me become a Raiders fan is I was 14 years old, man. My dad put a gun to my head. He kicked me out. My friend, him and his family found out I was sleeping in the park, and they brought me in, and they were all from LA. Robert with the follow salute. They were all from LA, and they were all Raiders fans, man. And so we'd sit around and watch the Raiders games. That was back in the 2001, the Tuck rule, is that year. And it was just like this wonderful experience, man, to just like feel like a part of the family, And so I became a Raiders fan then. Stayed ever since. Let's see. Anthony, man, I'm going to keep it a buck. He never even had a complete real shot with McDaniels or Pierce. Give him a complete year and see what happens. First year, game away from the playoffs. See, the problem is, right, and like I had like high hopes for Aiden O'Connell at one point, man, but man, I feel like I saw enough, right? I feel like I saw enough with the way that he played towards the end of the season where Aiden O'Connell can come out there and sling the ball and get some wins. He can get some shit done. And then the very next game, he's going to come out and he's going to flop, and that's Derek Carr all over again, right? Like, I really liked Derek Carr a lot, but after he broke his leg, man, those inconsistencies were just it was killer, man, to just have this quarterback that can get it done. And then it's like, what happened? He fell apart. What's going on here, right? And I do not want that, man. I do not want that. AOC knew he should have started instead of Minshew. AP knew that too, man. Angel, and the AP said that was like his regret, right? And like it was very clear. Last year they should have. I don't know why they even fucked with Gardner Minshew, man. They should have just gotten Aiden O'Connell to be the starter, and you have Aiden O'Connell start. We could have really got a good evaluation of him last year. Now we'd probably be picking somewhere in the teens instead, right? Because we probably would have won more games, but we would have had a better idea of what we have in the building. But the fact that he did not clearly win that quarterback battle says a whole lot, man, because Minshew, all the reports from camp were that he kind of looked like crap. And then you come in and you see that he actually looked like crap. Mr. Right. Why Aaron in the background? Because I'm saying that the Raiders should just go and sign Aaron Rodgers. You don't have to trade for him. He's not going to be hell of expensive quarterback. And the dude he's going to come back with a vengeance, man. He does not want his last year in the NFL to be that awful season that he just played for the Jets, man. He's going to come out and swinging. Matt Heavy G, Crosby wants Rodgers. And, I'm kind of sick of the whole Crosby wants this and that kind of narrative. I love Max Crosby, man. I really do. But, man, he's tripping on some of that shit. But, yes, on the Rush podcast, he was talking about Aaron Rodgers. And you can tell that Max Crosby wants Aaron Rodgers. And I think it's a good move. I really, really do, man. But I'm worried about what Crosby says because Crosby also was like, hey, you hire AP or I'm probably going to bounce. And I also understand that whole thing, right? Because Crosby has just had different coach after different coach after different coach, and he wanted some kind of consistency. I get that. But now we got Pete Carroll. And I think Pete Carroll's going to be here for several years. He's 73 years old, but I think that this is going to be a good thing, man. I really, really do. Bentley, where do you think Cooper Kupp will end up? I don't think that we're in on him, and I'm not really too into other teams, so I don't really know too much, man. W Diaz with the share. Salute, man. Thanks. T. Higgins already got franchise tag. Fernando on that pause shit, man. What the hell? That's some crazy shit. Luis, Sanjit T was wrong on DJ Glaze. He's not always right. And now he's changed his tune and he admitted that like he was wrong on that one and he says good things about DJ Glaze now. And I like that in a content creator, right? I like that in a human being is the ability to change your opinion based on new information, right? Like for me, I didn't want Pete Carroll, and then we got Pete Carroll and I was like, shit. And so then I started like looking at it and like, gathering different information. And it was like, dang, you know what? Like this actually seems like a really, really good move. Actually feels like a better move than the Ben Johnson move. Even though the Ben Johnson move was very flashy, there's a whole lot of unknowns there, right? Whereas we know who Pete Carroll is. So Pete Carroll brings the right people into the building, and then all of a sudden we're looking at a whole different situation. Savage, are you asking me if I want Rodgers? Because that's definitely what I'm here saying is that, yeah, I want Aaron Rodgers, man. Bill, you're probably getting Zach Wilson. At that point, just poke out the other eye on the Raiders, man, and just I don't want to see it. Zach Wilson. That would be like the worst quarterback room, man. Zach Wilson, Gardner Minshew, and Aiden O'Connell. You know, Garner Minshew and Zach Wilson would probably be fighting over Aiden O'Connell's mom or something, man. It's just crazy. Mike C. Rodgers is a cancer. What do you base that on? What information do you base him being a cancer on? Because anybody I've talked to hasn't been able to give me an answer. The only answer I've ever gotten on that was his political views. I don't give a fuck about somebody's political views, man. We're talking about football. You know what I'm saying? So give me information because I could change my opinion based on new information. Yeah, Anthony, I didn't want Pete Carroll, man. He said, "Why didn't you really want Pete Carroll? He's a complete winner everywhere he went." Yeah, I was just so stuck on Ben Johnson, man. I really wanted Ben Johnson. See, Danny saying, "Are you just going on his stint with New York Jets, who are the terrible team in the world?" Oh, okay, that's not directed to me. Matt Heavy, if Rodgers is coming, so is Davante. Pause, pause on that one. But on a serious note, man, yeah, I kind of think that they're looking to be a package deal. And honestly, I mean, yes, if you look at okay, Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams, when I first even thought about that, because I thought like, wouldn't it be so funny if like the whole thing where Davante Adams forced his way to the Jets and off the Raiders, and then if we brought in Aaron Rodgers and then Davante Adams is stuck over there on the Jets, I was like, that would be the funniest thing ever. But I was like, I don't want Aaron Rodgers, man. And the more I thought about it, the more I talked to people about it, the more I heard about it. It's just like, you know what? Like that's actually a really good move. And then now with Davante Adams getting released, all of a sudden he's not tied to a shit ton of money. And that was like the big thing about Davante Adams is like he's being a diva, his production is down, and he's costing a shit ton of money. So it's like, why would we even want that, you know? Let me see. Drew Pelter, I'm not even worried about Rodgers in minicamp, bro. Not even worried about that. He'd be better than Brokeback Mountain over there. What's his name? Had three back fractures. As somebody who's had back fractures, you don't just heal from that shit overnight, bro. That shit's gonna affect his game. Fredo Gonzalez, why not try and see if the Packers will give up Malik Wilson? Are you talking about Malik Wilkins? Because nah. Like I'm saying, man, it's everybody who gives their takes on quarterbacks. I haven't found people I can agree with, man. And like, okay, Justin Fields, I could maybe see that. Russell Wilson, hell no. Mr. Unlimited. Nah, don't want it. Raiders fan 170 with the follow salute. Bo Nix, that's his name. He looked good. Bo Nix surprised the shit out of me. But now he's broke back mountain over there with them back fractures. Mike C, good thing who's not coming to the Raiders. Matt Heavy G, trade up for Ward. Now, trading up for Ward, I wouldn't be mad about it, but like, okay, when I watched a whole bunch of tape on Ward and Shador Sanders, and I was trying to figure out, like, you know, who do I want, right? Who would I want to see us go after? Ward, yes, I think he's a better player. I don't know about the mental, right? Until the combine. His interviews at the combine, like the things he was saying, it's like, dude, this guy is like, Ward is legit up here, man. And they say that Shador Sanders is legit up here, at least football minded, but I don't know, man. His interviews and stuff at the combine, I was like his stock for me dropped, you know. But I saw Raider D put out a video today, which is funny because it was the same thing I was thinking about. was that Shador Sanders was tanking for Vegas instead of Vegas tanking for Shador Sanders, right? But that's what it looking like, man. Brother, I see Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams heading to San Francisco. They are not gonna bench Brock Purdy for Aaron Rodgers. They might bring on Davante Adams by himself. They're looking to trade Brandon Ayuk, but if they're trying to trade Brandon Ayuk and they just got rid of Debo Samuel, do they really want to bring in an old Davante Adams who's, not cheap? I don't know, man. Maximus, I did not want another Jamarcus experience, and we run that risk. We do, you know. Uh, Joe Leary, man, please remove the AR background. You're way off. You're tuned into me. I'm not tuned into you, man. So I don't know. I don't know what you tripping on, bro. This is my take. Raiders Rebel in the building. What's up, man? Salute, salute. Good to see you, man. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I could try to argue this so I'm blue in the face, man. But you know, Anthony, it's why y'all were talking about him. Just saw the news. Jets released Davante. Yeah, that's why we're talking about it, man. Because with him getting released by the Jets, that means for one, you don't have to trade for him, and for two, that contract, that awful contract that the Jets took on, it's gone. It's gone, right? And so if you look at the Raiders last year, right, going into the season, there was a lot of hype, right? And the big question mark that we had was quarterback. So you take last season, and our defense was legit, and pretty much all them dudes ended up injured, man. And I have a feeling that we're gonna bring back most of them, but there's gonna be some of them that walk. So our defense is gonna look a whole lot better than it did throughout most of the season because our guys gonna be back and healthy, right? Then Brock Bowers is way better than any of us ever really like. I knew he was gonna be good, but damn, dude, that dude is legit. Jacoby Myers, 1,000 receiving yards, 0 drops. So you bring in somebody who can actually throw the ball in Aaron Rodgers, and he's a perfect bridge. That way you can have a rookie quarterback sit for 2 years. Because if you bring on a Sam Darnold, I saw a report that was talking about like Sam Darnold could maybe be signed for like 3 years, $90 million, which I gotta say I'd be down for that. But there's a whole lot of question marks. Travis, Jets fan, you don't want him. You guys, when was the last time you guys had a quarterback that played good over there? Joe Namath? like when, dude? Like when? It's been horrible for quarterbacks over there, man. So I can't even base what happened over there on anything that could happen in the future. I can't, man. You know, so you picture we actually pick up a running back in the draft. We have Aaron Rodgers throwing to Davante Adams, Brock Bowers, Jacoby Myers, could actually throw a deep ball to Trey Tucker. You know what I'm saying? And then just having Max Crosby, Christian Wilkins, Adam Butler, Malcolm Kuntz. Our DBs are actually better than people want to paint it. You get rid of Divine Diablo, bring in an actual safety that's going to stop some runs. Then what? Ernest Ivy with the follow salute. As a Broncos fan, I hope you guys get Rodgers. The only reason you guys even got to the playoffs is because we had this shit ass Gardner Minshew, Luke Getsy pairing, and so you guys won 2 games against us, which is the first time in years that you guys have beat us at all. You lose one of those games, you're not even in the playoffs. So I don't know why Bronco fans want to like flex, like, oh, we got Bo Nix and we're the shit. Brokeback Mountain Bo Nix. Anthony, just thinking about that as well. Enough is enough with that as well, to be real. What are you talking about? What you talking about, Anthony? Nix ain't balling like that this year. He's not, man. He had 3 spinal fractures that he was playing through, and the dude balled out way harder than any of us thought that was going to be possible. We were laughing when y'all drafted Bo Nix. So, you know, Yeah, the Chargers aren't really flashing that good either, man. Luis with the follow salute. The Chargers are in the same boat. If the Raiders were playing on point, I think if the Chargers lost to us once, they're not even in the playoffs, right? Or is it 2 games out? I don't know. Either way, it was a close call for them. So can't be flexing on us that hard. Now, if we go into this next year with Chip Kelly and Pete Carroll, and we actually have a quarterback, whether it's Rodgers or Sam Darnold or a rookie or Justin Fields, whatever, right? And we start looking like ass, just like how we did this last year, then everybody in the world can talk shit, and they'd be right. Anthony, just realized that enough is enough. Last time we actually had a consistent stud quarterback was DC 2016. That's almost a decade. And DC was the shit, man. And then he broke his leg and he played scared after that. And after that, it was just like not working. Matt Heavy G. I'm going Rodgers, Sanders, or Ward. And I'd be totally down. Ward is the only one that I would probably say start him year one, but that's only because we'd have to trade up to get him. That's it. See, Maximus, I think Brady and Pete will get us going in the right direction. And it's already going there, man. It already really is. Raider Ryan, salute you back, man. Yeah, dude. And just in kind of I could stay on a little bit longer, man, but I don't have too much more time. Let me see. The thing is, man, is that I've looked at it, man. I look at it and I look at it and I look at it. Being a content creator, I gotta look at all the information, man. I gotta look at what's happening, who's available, and I look at it again, and then I listen to other people, and then and I overanalyze the shit out of it sometimes, right? But what it comes down to is that if we're going to be drafting a quarterback this year, our best bet is Aaron Rodgers. Now, if we go Sam Darnold, and Raider D said that we have a meeting with him scheduled for March 10th, but I haven't seen that anywhere else. Let me see. Because if that's true, we probably are going to end up picking him up. See, and I know like some people have insiders and stuff. I don't have sources, man. I don't have all that. But yeah, I don't see anywhere that we're meeting with them. But if we pick up Sam Darnold, then my guess is that our regime is not convinced with this quarterback class. And it's going to be really telling whether Tom Brady tries to get Shedeur Sanders or not. Because if Tom Brady does not get Shedeur Sanders, then that means because he's got all the inside info because he's been working with that kid since high school. So if he's not sold on him and he backs away, then everybody's right. And Shedeur Sanders is not a first round pick, and it's going to get ugly for him. But if we make a move for Shedeur Sanders, that's going to tell me that Brady knows that he's that dude. I hear Minnesota keeps Sam Darnold. Joe O'Leary, the thing is, man, is that Sam Darnold did not get franchise tagged, and today was the last day. And the only thing that they could do is sign him to a new deal and then either try to trade him or keep him. Sam Darnold with JJ McCarthy, JJ McCarthy is ready to start, man. So it doesn't make sense. Let's see real quick. Yeah, Anthony, after Carr broke his leg 2017 through 2022, he played completely scared. And the thing is, man, is that like, okay, do I want an old quarterback that's only going to be here for 2 years? Not really, right? That's not ideal. What I wanted was Jaden Daniels. I wanted Jaden Daniels, and we didn't even try, you know? Big Wang Dang with the follow salute, man. But yeah, dude, like I wanted Jaden Daniels bad because I knew this is going to be a generational guy. And there is not a single guy in this draft that I just can say without a doubt, like, this is going to be a generational talent. I don't feel that way. Do I feel like these guys can be good? Yes. Do I feel like any of them are year one starters? Maybe Cam Ward, maybe Raider Mike 27 with the follow salute. So, okay, so we can't necessarily just get our franchise quarterback rookie that's going to be able to start year one. So then what do? We get, like, just like how people want to draft the best player available, let's sign best free agent available. Who is the best free agent available? Aaron Rodgers. Number 2 on my list, Sam Darnold. Number 3 on my list, Justin Fields. And I don't want to see us go for anybody else besides that. Maximus, I'm with you. There are some good defensive picks, though. I mean, we got to get defensive picks, man. We got to do that, Oh, dang. Jeffrey, what's up? Salute, bro. Man, did you get to see the combine for quarterbacks? It was bad. Yeah, I mean, Jackson Dart looked pretty good, man. I liked how Jackson Dart looked. I like how he interviewed. I like how Cam Ward interviewed, and Shedeur Sanders, man, I didn't like the way he was talking, except when they asked him what wide receivers he'd want to throw to in the NFL, and he named the wide receivers from Colorado. I thought that was legit, man. Raider Mike, draft Genty and Dart, make it happen, Brady. I would love to have Genty and Dart, man. Dart he's got a lot of potential, especially if he gets to sit for 2 years. Dude will do legit. Matt Heavy, we have to trade back, build defense. I'm not opposed to trading back, man. I've done a lot of mock drafts, man, and when like in trading back, there's so much available on defense, offensive line. You could pick up like a guard, a defensive lineman, a running back or two. Yeah, there's just some really good shit that can happen there, man. Rodgers, Michael Maxwell, Rodgers for sure, but I'd rather have Fields over Darnold. I could see that too, man. And the thing with Scatabo, I don't know how to say his name, is that people are saying that he didn't run a 40 because he's too slow for the NFL. So that's kind of worrisome, man. David, there's no point in signing Rodgers. He's got 2 years left at most. And that's exactly why I'm saying we sign him, is because he's got 2 years. Because Sam Darnold, he's probably looking for more like a 4-year deal. And I really don't want to give Sam Darnold a 4-year deal that's worth over $100 million. Mind your manner. The rumor is Matthew Stafford. There was a rumor about that, but what happened was the Rams came to an agreement with Matthew Stafford, and they're giving him more money, and so he's staying. Let's see. Yeah, Will Howard looked awful in the combine, man. And like, I wouldn't be pissed off if we picked up Will Howard in like the 3rd round, especially after that combine he's going to drop. And if we picked up a Will Howard later on and let him sit for 2-3 years, okay, I could see that, man. But what it comes down to, man, and I'm just going to say it one more time, is we need Aaron Rodgers, sign him, draft a rookie quarterback, whether it's Shedeur Sanders or Jackson Dart, get a running back, either Ashton Genty or Omarion Hampton. Trayvon Henderson, too. I like that dude, too, man, especially because he's already played in the Chip Kelly offense. And let's face it, if Davante Adams wants to be a package deal with Aaron Rodgers, I could fucking forgive the bullshit. It would make sense, right? And it could be that tomorrow or the next day I come to my senses and I'm like, what was I thinking? This is a stupid idea. But right now in this moment, that is what I believe. So, I gotta let you guys go, man. I've been on for an hour now, and I gotta go spend some time with my kid. Like always, I love you, nation. Catch you on the next one.